Alrighty guys, welcome. We team hope we're all doing well on this Thursday. Bit of action on the charts early. Some of you may have been in some trades. We'll discuss that shortly. Meantime, let's get the show on the road. As always guys, good morning, good afternoon, very good evening, no matter where we are around the world. Hope you guys are all doing really well today. Welcome to another London session, and we'll see what we can come up with moving forward here today. There were a few options just recently. GJ on a breakout buy and did tick the box in accordance to my rules based off the 30 more so. That strong closure. Not much of a lower wick, but it was still technically valid, and some gold sells which have now reversed, but that just dropped to about 7 pips, and I got caught out at break even. I just went straight to break even. It was a moment before the stream. Didn't really want to hold it into the stream. Didn't want to take a loss into the stream, so that was enough of that. But yeah, there were the options. Small entry on GJ, small entry on gold as well. One worked, yeah, one I got taken out break even. With gold now, I mean, you'd be stuck in some drawdown, and now it's formed a liquidity wick as well, so we'll see what we can come up with. Though still definitely going to be looking to see if something does present for another valid entry. Guys, if you could, make sure to hit the like button. You guys on YouTube, guys on TikTok, smash that screen. If you have questions, charts, or anything you'd like me to have a look at, feel free to let me know. I'll get to it shortly. Let's just quickly look at the news to see what we got on the agenda moving forward here today. It's been a big week, especially for the pound as well. So today we've got some high impact news for the US dollar with unemployment claims and final GDP, so that's a pretty big one as well. So just be wary of that if you are trading into NY session. Tomorrow, another big day for the pound with retail sales and some further high impact news with core PCE for the US dollar. So enough of that guys, and let's get cracking with the analysis on both gold and GJ. And let's start with, as per usual, let's start with gold. And currently, so we're flipped back bullish. We're kind of bopping it out, to be honest. It's still forming a bullish candle, but it's a weak bullish candle. Would not surprise me. We did still reject and close back bearish. Pretty sure the 30-minute structure is still technically bearish, so as long as that remains bearish, there is a chance we could end up heading back down to the support. Daily, that is bullish, and what we do have also is counter probabilities now to the upside. So off the back of that, that would suggest any pullbacks within this candle, we're going to see what sort of levels we could potentially form support at, head back up, retest the high, create a high, and on towards that all-time high yet again. Still looking very solid, very bullish on the daily time frame. Onto the 4-hour, right up, hard up against that resistance, which we keep on rejecting. And that is, again, I'm still calling it technically bullish, but I can understand why others might be calling it bearish. But to me, once again, this is just a pause in price action. It's not a swing. To validate a swing, it needs to be 2 more consecutive candles pulling back in the opposite direction to the impulse. Here we just got bearish, bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish. So to me, that's just a pause. Anyway, enough of that. So technically still bullish on the 4-hour, but at resistance. And I always mention to you guys, irrespective of bias and structure, always think about where we are on the chart. And right now, like I said, it's at that resistance, so it's not going to be that easy buying it. But we've cut through it on the way up, and we're starting to cut through it on the way down. Just adjust our zones now to the most recent price action, and above that high, we can see we got some clean traffic to the left, potentially up towards this 3046, 47 sort of region. We could mark that in. That could be a potential target above the current daily candles high. Now, quickly looking at 30. Also at that point, that's where the structural flip. So we've retested the last significant lower high in the M30 only to reject. So if we were to begin to close above the current daily candles high in the M30, we're going to confirm a structure flip on that particular time frame. and that used to be the case. There's a good chance that we could continue up towards that 30.46 region. So for me, straight off the bat, definitely interested in continuation buys above the high. The preference would be the closure above, whether it be in a 15 or 30. However, I still would consider an impulse entry if we approach in the right manner. Now, further options for me would be, well, I was recently in a little bit of a sell, but I mean, based off a liquidity grab, look what's happened. How many times do we see it happen, guys? Broke the low, then when we had a bit of an upper wick prior to it, broke the low, went on to break the high. Now look what it's done. It's pushed up to the next minor resistance. It would have been a quick and easy, probably 10 or so pips in that. So it's good to see it play out as per what I mentioned on the regular. So it's technically bearish on the 30. We're going to mark in some levels on the 15 here. I've got a level just there, which we pretty much tapped in and rejected. Just formed support at the current level. We're about to confirm some minor support again, sorry, in 3 minutes. So preempting that we're going to close bullish at the moment to confirm the support. If that is to be the case, likely going to want to see what's wrong with the music. It's silent here. Likely going to want to see at this rate, because it still looks like it's closing potentially bullish engulfing. So if that's to be the case, then it's just following simple rules within my game plan. And what that would be is based off the strength of the candle, I need to wait for bearish engulfing if I was to consider sells. Take it potentially back down to the next minor support around that 30.24 region. So I'm gonna mark in that level as a potential level 2 target. I would consider once again the sells below this level. Let me just remove these drawings. So would consider sells. Now as for further buy options, further sell options, if we do pull up and to reject it again as well, guys, we'll contemplate that if and when the time comes. Otherwise, for the buys, would I consider it above this bearish counter high? It's a bit choppy on the 5, to be honest. Let's look at it again in the 30. Yeah, it's a bit of a tough one, to be honest, to look for the buys from the current level. I would prefer it to actually come down towards that 30.24, bounce off that point there, and look for some buys a little bit lower down if personally, that's what I prefer to see. But again, the charts can do anything. Doesn't have to listen to what I want it to do. So for me, it's the apart from the buys above the high or buys upon a deeper pullback, I'm finding it a bit tricky to find a clean area to get involved in buys above the current level. So we'll let some data print first of all, and we'll see. We'll reassess it. But that is the goal, guys. Just remove that support, and we can now focus our attention onto GJ. And starting at the weekly, we are forming yet again a very strong bullish candle. So we do have a high, low, high, high. Based off that, once again, looking to see where potentially we could pull back to form support, head back up, retest the high, potentially create a high, high. All those levels could also provide entry points for sells if we begin to pop below them. Daily structure is technically bullish still respecting the resistance here to the left. We still continue to remain below it, so it is a very key level. As we can see above the weekly high though, as I mentioned before, it's likely to make further continuation if it does begin to break current weekly candles high. Clean traffic to the left above it on the daily time frame onto the 4-hour, and that looks to be also still technically bullish. So we can see we've got clean traffic above the resistance as well. So let's just mark in a level above it for the time being. Let's also mark in the current level of, well, the most recent 4-hour resistance is just there. So let's remove that for the time being. Support, got all these wicks, so we'll include that whole level, and we'll reassess that in a 30. but we are technically bullish on the 4 hour, technically bearish, but it looks like it's still bearish. Yeah, bearish in M30. So similar, it's the same as gold. You got 3 time frames to the upside, 1 to the downside. Off the back of that, I mean, could have been some impulsive sells just then, but without an upper wick, hard to trust. To be honest, I'd be still preferring the buys now on GJ. Seeing the bias is still technically bullish to the upside. If you're in some counter sells, very good right now, nice work. But what I'd be waiting for is, at this rate, is likely to see how we respond to this current level. It is a 4 hour level that we're currently at, and looks like we're potentially popping below it. So if I was to look for a sell below it, then I need to see this candle closing strong bearish, preferably probably just below that resistance, followed by a little weak pause to the upside in the M15, closing the M30 back, still a strong bearish candle. Off the back of that, would potentially look for some sells to take it back down as long as I got the margin towards 194 flat. So it's a little bit tricky because of where we're at. The lack of margin, it does look a bit cleaner to the upside, but with that recent rejection, yeah, you'd want to be back above that 194.50 psychological number as well. Tough drawing in these zones at the moment, guys. It's, you know, I may just leave it, stick to the 15-minute level, to be honest. So buys above, on continuation above the daily high. Let's go back to the 30. It's the same level as the 15. Just drag that down a bit. So that's the current minor range within the 4 hour range that we're playing within. So I would be looking for the buys from lower down. If we did pop back down, provide a catalyst from price action to sell it, to buy it, sorry, then I would definitely be interested in if that was to be the case. So the buys from the pullback towards that 194 psychological round number. Sell below, it's similar to gold to the upside. It's not the cleanest, to be honest, and there isn't a great deal of margin. Usually in that sort of instance, what I prefer to see is a nice clean move to cut through and open up the margin to the downside, then patiently wait for a pullback, let it form resistance, and then look for options to sell it based off that. But yeah, it's my take on it anyway. Make of that what you will. Have we got margin below this support? No, there is not. There's 6 pips, not even. Alright, gold's popping up a little bit higher. That's fine. I would prefer, still, just based on where we're at, I would prefer to try to get involved in sells, because you're buying it into all these wicks to the left, so it's a bit choppy. And if that's to be the case, similar to what I mentioned, but the opposite direction, similar to what I mentioned on GJ, nice clean move up, pull back, form support, and then it's more probable, in my opinion, for potential entries. But all in all, it's been a good start today, been a good week, so we'll see. We'll just wait to see what options present. All right, so who we got here today? Tony Gold, Grand Rising to you, welcome. Carl, as always, Sketchmas, appreciate you guys, hope you're all well, my YouTube buddies. And to everyone on TikTok, welcome to all you, and thank you to the new followers. What have I missed? Beats, good morning to you, brother. What's wrong with the music today? Right. Sorry, let me get back to TikTok chat. What have I missed? Not a lot by the looks of it. Unsons, what's my confirmations? Well, right now gold's moving in a way which isn't really giving me any confirmation. I would have preferred the closure above. I mean, a confirmation for a very impulsive buy would have been on the break of this candle's high. Seeing it broke the low of the candle previously, it did have a bit of an upper wick. Then went on to break the low. I was in a sell at that point. I had about 7 pips on the table. I just, with the use of my EA toolkit, I went to break even. Because I knew there's a volume about 2 and I was just about to start the stream, to be honest. I didn't want to try to manage it while I'm getting ready for the stream. And it's since popped straight up, and the probabilities were that if it broke the high of that candle after previously breaking its low, and what it may have just done is grab some liquidity from the downside in order to make a move back up. So that is exactly what it's done. That would be one confirmation. Otherwise, just look for your engulfing candles at your predetermined levels. Things like that. There's many different confirmations. Yeah, gold very, very impulsive at the moment. Tenor, EU. I'll have a look at that shortly. RFN. Gold bullish? Yeah, I'm more bullish on it, to be honest. User, yeah, I'm definitely more bullish on it. But it doesn't mean I won't consider sells. I was briefly in a sell before. RFN, I can't because of YouTube. I can't do it. I'll get a strike. Is that gold new all-time high soon? Yeah, potentially. I mean, it keeps on keeping on. I love lamp. Trump announcement on tariffs affecting the markets. Were there some announcements? Were there? He did speak, so I'm assuming he did announce something. People will be pleasantly surprised in April too. That's interesting. Those of you in the US. Okay, yep, some tariffs here, potentially. But I mean, it hasn't been doing all that much. It's gone up, went back down, it's doing what it always does. Now the volume's come back in and looks like it wants to retest the daily high. So let's look at EU for Tanner, who asked before. Let's quickly take a look at EU. Weekly, call that strong bearish. It does have a lower high, lower low to the previous. I'll be marking the current weekly low and see what we got below it. Daily, still the way I see it, did not create a higher high. I know it wicked above, but it didn't close above the high. This is the one big impulse from the downside. This is the swing point, so I would say it's technically still bullish. But what you do have is daily counter probabilities to the downside. You've got lower low, lower high, does flip and break its own low, clean traffic to the left. High probability will continue down. 4 hour is bearish, so I've got the 4 hour bearish, I've got the daily and weekly being bearish. Got clean traffic to the left on the 4 hour below of the current daily candle. As far as resistance, I'm just going to mark that level in for the time being. Yeah, it's a pretty deep zone, to be honest. That to me is pretty much one whole zone. I'll just focus on the most recent levels though for the time being. To the downside, I'll just use that. What we can see is the 30 is also technically bearish, and the bias is bearish. It's where you look like this the other day. It was last night my time when I had a look at it with the team. Closures below this point would look interesting for some potential sell options. Now it's bouncing off its 15-minute support, so it's probably best below that level there. If it closes below 107.624, that would be a really good option to sell it. If it closes right near below, impulse entries might be valid. You want to see definitely an upper wick forming prior to any entry. Buys are going to be tricky, very tricky, unless it's upon the pullback, because you're buying it into resistance. You're buying it into this wick, and then above that wick you've got the 4 hour zone. So for me, it'd be very difficult buying it from the current level. The buyers, I prefer it to make the move down. If you can't get in the sell, wait for it to form support. If it doesn't form support, so you've got some really clean traffic upon continuation below the current daily / weekly candle low. That would be further options for a potential buy, sell, sorry, on EU. Oh. Something gonna present. So this is now the resistance that we need to start to close above. Not really much of a level. Few issues though on gold. You've got a massive stop loss. It definitely has to close above that point. It's horizontal. If it were me to consider any possible entry. Back over more into you. There's a link for the team if anyone is interested. Sound all good. Wiseman, Wise FX, EU still not clear, waiting for confirmation as well. Yeah, I think that's nothing wrong with that. Definitely nothing wrong waiting for confirmations. I mean, the only other thing is if you've got an engulfing candle from the current level to the upside, but the issue is there's just no margin. There's really no margin at the current level to buy it. It's a little bit tricky. Gold rejecting. Looking like tricky markets this morning. Looked really good just before the stream, and now a little bit more data and things have changed. Lucas Marsh, welcome to you. Took a gold buy 28, bottom of resistance using A.C.T. 28. Nice one. Yeah, that's again, it's the beauty of it all. Prior to it, I was in a very short low. I was in it for about 10 minutes, to be honest. Got triggered in, wasn't doing anything. Go back to break even, went into about 5 pip drawdown. Then it just dropped to about 7, around a 7 pip profit, and I automatically clicked break even. And about 5 seconds later, it was out at break even. In the meantime, GJ did make the move. Now it's since retraced, so that to me is a pretty strong sign of a liquidity grab, but just thinking about it's difficult. The price action is very difficult in GJ at the moment. Nothing super clear at the moment. And will you be joining the trade? What trade? Trying to build my account back. Yeah, you got to be careful with that, because if you're trying to take a trade based on getting money back from a previous loss, it's probably not the best thing to be doing. You probably need to take a little bit of time out from the charts to be honest. It's not the best way to go about it. What that leads to is trading based on emotions, which leads to taking trades for the sake of it to try to get your cash back, which leads to digging yourself a deeper hole, which leads you to becoming more emotional about it. And you know, before you know it, you've done your accounting. So yeah, so I'm just chilling. I'm waiting for the right moment. GJ is looking a little more interesting to me, but I need to wait 12.5 minutes or just over. Because that is a really, really nasty 30-minute candle. So when I look at that, I mean, there is a chance it could pop up, make the move, give you 10, 15, 20 pips, but I'm looking at it, it's already traveled from open to the bottom, 22.5 pips. It's traveled that back up, so it's already over 45 pips in volume. And then it would be taking it in anticipation it's going to keep pushing, you know, at 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 pips or whatever within the next 12 minutes. Without any confirmation yet on the 30. I'd rather wait for this 30 to close. See if you get a bullish engulfing candle, but without it making a move. And then based off that, there potentially could be a GJ buy, because you're going to have the 30 closing back with a long liquidity wick to the downside. Yes, it's going to be looking pretty nasty, to be honest. One long upper wick, one long lower wick. But you're also going to be hovering back above some of this resistance to the left. So I feel that is the better option at the moment. Oh, it's not looking fantastic. Luca's been stacking up some funded accounts so I can fund a lot. That's a good way to go about it, to be honest. Daniel, appreciate it. I think your music's pretty cool. Yeah, all good. But we've all been there. I've been there before. Learned, again, I've said the story many times. I've learned the hard way. I've had many issues years ago. The type of thing. Chasing figures and chasing, you know, percentage returns and things like that, and then just getting absolutely slaughtered because I didn't follow my plan and chase the goal, chase the number, sorry. Yeah, so just let your charts come to you. Everything, got any groups? Yeah, you guys are intelligent enough to work out how to go about finding that if you are interested. Gotta be careful. I don't want to get. I'm on my last warning for TikTok, so gotta be very careful what I say. Look at the hourly. All right, so that's resistance, and it's tapped into and rejected. Remember, we're also at a very strong 4-hour level. 5-minute looks the best. EA looks pretty good for anyone who does trade. If it does close below now, bearish engulfing below the support, that'd be really nice catalyst to sell it. Definitely a nice entry point for GCAD sells below this support. DJ pulling back. So the buys probably not going to be valid. Daniel, yeah, I'm contemplating it. Also on the 5, to be honest. It would be nice if we can correlate with a 15-minute closing at least to the downside. Because what I'm seeing is we've tapped into that support and we are potentially rejecting. Remembering the 30-minute structure is still technically bearish. So it would be a little bit risky, but for me, I might be prepared to take that risk, seeing I've already had one small win today and a break even, so I would be prepared to perhaps risk that profit. It's been a good week from early in the week. Nasdaq. I'll look at it shortly. Just keeping a little bit of an eye on gold. Okay, Joe, you're risking a sell on gold. As long as you're accepting of your risk. In 5 minutes looking pretty good. For me, I'd really love for it to engulf, which it's not going to do. Yeah, it's probably not strong enough. Yeah, Daniel, that's what I would have preferred, but it hasn't closed engulfing. To be honest, I'd rather be really strict with it, especially when it comes to the even lower time frame. Irrespective, this doesn't even have an upper wick, so it's a bit tricky. Set an alert, see if it does pull back for an upper wick. Alright, Nasdaq. So it's bullish on a weekly. No low wick, but it is starting to make a different pullback. So still could potentially create it, but doesn't necessarily need to. Daily structure is bearish, and we do have candle probabilities to the downside. Big strong bearish engulfing candle on that previous candle, marking a high, and it's also and the low. Let's mark in both. See what we've got either side of it. Let's go into the 4 hour, and we can see that is bullish. Remain bullish till these lows. Gold has flipped crane up a wick. Has it? Has it done so? Definitely the better option is to wait for a 15 closure. That is by far, to wait for the confirmation of 15 closing bearish. That is by far the best option. So let me continue on with now. So let's go on to the 4 hour. What did I say? 4 hours. 4 hour is bullish. Don't have yet confirmation of resistance. We've got support. We'll draw in resistance on the 30. 30 is bearish, so I still prefer to look for the sells, to be honest, but above the current daily candle side, the resistance formed at that level. Clean trap to the left. So you want to see a closure above the 15 would suffice. Want it to retest and look for continuation buys. Reason why you want to retest is you want to make sure, or still doesn't guarantee anything, but it's more probable that if it does retest and begin to break above your catalyst candles high, it's more probable that it will continue and not fake out and grab liquidity from the upside and head back down. So closure above, retest, continuation for the buys. Sells, we've got some minor support at this point here, and you could contemplate buys from it if it makes a clean move down. Otherwise, below it, you got some clean traps to left for further sells, and that's pretty much my opinion of Nasdaq moving forward here today. I don't personally trade it on stream. I don't personally trade it during this session, London. I don't feel it's the best time to be trading it. Yeah, I'd wait for there to be a little bit more liquidity, and that's close to MY, pre-MY. Damage that the body doesn't count. Well, it's not engulfing. It's engulfing the body, but it's not engulfing. When I talk about bearish engulfing or bullish engulfing candles, I mean engulfing the entire candle. So in this case, the bearish engulfing would have had to close below the low of that bullish candle. So the wick itself. All right. Let's see how this candle closes. The lowest point of the 15, 30.95. So potentially 2 pips below. All good, mate. All right, so the 5 minutes looking all right. Now it's risky, definitely more risky because we don't yet have the confirmation of a 30 closing bearish, but it is closing with a long upper wick, rejecting some minor resistance. We are technically bearish in structure, rejecting a 4 hour level. I want to see an upper wick, and then I would consider, again, I'm willing to take the risk to take a sell on gold as it begins to break the low of the bearish candle. It's got a bit of an upper wick, not much of an upper wick, but it has created one. So I've got it set at 75. And again, I'm willing to take this risk because it's been a pretty good week anyway. there's going to be ways for me to manage the trade. If it does begin to go against me, I can just begin to manage it based off the entry candle. There we go. So triggered in, and wow, look at that, it's popped straight back up. All good. We'll see. Giving it a little bit of room. Bank non indices for London session. FTSE German 40. They're the ones that you probably want to be trading. Mid-lad. Well, I'm just in a sell at the moment. So it's in a little bit of profit. Not much. Pretty much break even. Okay, Joe, nice one. There we go. Dropping quite nicely, 6 pips on the table. So I'm going to adjust the stop loss to just above the entry candle just now. We have no need to pull back and break our own high. Give it a little bit of room. About 7 pips. There we go. All right, 8 pips on the table. Be time for me to get to break even at this point. No point taking loss being close to first TP. There we go. So consider securing something if you like. Seeing we are within a range, I'm about to, there we go, I've closed custom. So I've closed 8% and job done. Well done, if anyone did take it. Okay, Joe, nice work. Move stops to break even, yeah, so now you're all good. And that is my target, this support. So I've already secured 80%, and now I'm just gonna let the rest go. See what happens. Let's see what GJ's doing. GJ back at support, alright. See if GJ provides any potential entry. Got to do before and after. Anyway. And runners out. Just like that. So a quick little win. Quick little scalp. Well done if anyone did take it. Wow. As always, brother. Well done if you did take it. Good work. We just keep on keeping on. Anyone else? Anyone else take it? Alright, so GJ at support, so we'll keep a bit of an eye on GJ. Stick around, I'll see if something else presents. So it's been a very solid week. Now that's four wins, 1 break even, one loss. So been a good week, really good week. And yesterday I didn't even trade. Yesterday I was busy, wasn't on stream. Yeah, so there's gold. Nice quick scalp on gold. So based off the 15 and the 5, that one. What else, guys? Anyone else currently looking at anything, or anyone currently in any trades? Let me know. I'll happily take a look. Oh, nice trade. Not in gold. I mean,
Hi.
you're in EU yourselves. Nice one.
Hi, Justin.
How are you, mate?
Doing alright. How about you?
Not too bad at all, brother. What's going on? What's going on today?
Nothing major.
Hmm.
I'm actually on a sale in EU.
You're also in EU yourselves?
Yeah. On the early.
Oh, yeah. Below that bullish
right
candle?
there. Yes.
Alright, nice one. You secure some profit, or you still... Is it still all open?
No, all open. All open.
Nice one. Yeah, looking good as long as it can remain below that support.
Yeah. If you look at it like from what we discussed yesterday, you can see here that area from yesterday. I was looking at this like more like a retest of that area.
Yep.
So, and if it kind of like formed a quite interesting rejection on the early, so that's what prompted me for that entry.
Yeah, I like... You got multiple... Well, you got rejection up at the actual zone.
Yeah.
You got a little weak bullish candle.
This is the zone I was waiting for it to close for the past 2 days. I've been waiting for it to break that area. So it kind of created this quick move down. Then once it rejected from there, I was expecting like kind of a rejection. Exactly what happened. Then when this weak bullish candle closed on the early, I thought, why not?
There's this signal. Nice one. Yeah, based on the alley, does look really good. Really good.
Yeah, it's not been really that easy though, because when I entered the trade, the candle had to go back up to create an upper wick before it again pushed down like that.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Let's see. My stop loss was initially above the bullish candle. When it created that top wick, then came down to break it, although I moved it like below now the current candle.
Yeah.
So it's like I think barely like 7 pips stop loss. So let's see.
So you mitigate risk, which is good.
Yeah.
Nice one. Good goal now. Popping straight back up. Tony Gold, yeah, no problem. Definitely can. DXY. So it's strong bullish on the weekly. Daily, so it's bounced off some pretty strong support here to the left. Nice strong bullish engulfing candle on the previous daily candle as well. So based off that, against the flip, it doesn't have an upper wick. Break above that previous candle side, good chance we could continue up. There is some very clean traffic to the left as well. Bearish. Or is it on? Yeah, still bearish. 4 hour is bullish. Yeah, so once again, above that previous daily high, does look really good for some potential buyers. It's marking the most recent support. And a 30 is bearish. So we've got bullish weekly. Bullish, said 4 hour. Daily was bearish. So it's a neutral bias. So off the back of that, I would not be opposed to buys or to sells. Just depends on what sort of catalyst and what presents and what levels. So we're tapped into some previous support here to the left. Yeah, if this was to close strong bearish in the 15, then I'd probably want to see a little pause on the next M15. And that's still going to close the M30 back bearish candle. And that could potentially be the entry point for a sell, which again, it will be with the actual structure on the mining time frame as well. I mean, otherwise for buys, I'd rather buy it from lower down. If we do get the 15 to close bearish, then for me it'd be simple as waiting for very strong bullish, preferably engulfing candle for a continuation buy, because that would suggest this is just a pause, this candle. What have I missed on TikTok? Forex Live, you just need to sell some bullish fair value gap with no confirmation. Mate, you obviously weren't watching them, were you? And not everyone has to trade fair value gaps, my friend. I do me, you do you. If it works for you, fantastic. I do what works for me. I told you what my confirmation was. You obviously have not been watching or paying any attention. So, and I made a profit from it. All good. I always say, guys, the beauty about trading, I could be in a sell taking profit, and then a minute or 5, 10, 15 minutes later, half an hour later, someone could be in a buy making some profit. So we should all just encourage each other. Like I always mention, there's so many ways you can skin a cat. I don't say fair value gaps are bullshit or why would you trade it. I just don't do it. It's not me. So you come to my stream, this is the way I trade. Have some respect. Suman Mulama, do you make a living trading or work? I do have a business in background. I've had it it's a family business. We've had it forever. So I've always mentioned as well, and that's another thing I say, it's always good to have something in the background because it takes the pressure off. And I think that's why I'm a competent trader, because I'm not forced to trade for a living. I always mention, let the trades come to me. I let the charts prove to me why I should take a trade. I don't go out hunting trades. I find it good, to be honest, not having to worry about, well, I need to make a trade because I need to pay this bill, or it's just not me. I'm chilled on the charts. If I get my confirmation, I can take a trade. If not, so be it. I couldn't care less, to be honest. I just move on to the next session, next day. All right, GJ bouncing off. A lot of volume at the moment. All right, I mean, gold buys are starting to look pretty good too. Let's quickly look at it once again on the 5 minute. 5 minute looking pretty good just now as well. You're potentially closing above a resistance. I mean, based off the bullish engulfing, that's not a bad catalyst yet again, guys, if anyone is interested. How far above is it closing? The limit order is also valid based off the interruption play. So you've got straight bullish, you've got a couple bullish candles here, followed by a little bit of a pause in price action, only to be engulfed. Now, for the limit order to be valid, you want it to close 8 pips or more above the high of the bearish candle. What that does is give you a better stop loss. It gives you a better entry point in anticipation after it pulls back to create slower wick. That could be a level that bounces off. So that is an option. Further option will be continuation. The issue of the continuation is if you've got a big stop loss. You're looking at 40 plus pips, basically 15. It's not ideal. I would prefer to get involved on the pullback, to be honest. So you'd be looking at potentially 30, 32.65. That looks to be the spot in IC markets, 30, 32.65. And the conditions is this candle can't flip and start to pop above the previous candle's high, which it's already done. So for me, it would not now be valid. a continuation buy, it's not big of a low, it's not much of a low wick. It's not enough for me to take a buy using the low wick as a stop loss. Would not be comfortable rolling with about 6 pip stop, knowing gold could easily just flip back within seconds, break its own low. So I'm not going to chase it for the continuation buy at the moment. I don't have a decent enough stop loss. So next, again, the next option would be, if you're still trusting the limit order, you'd be looking at something like this. Because your stop loss, and again, your overall target's going to be higher up as per the rules for the limit order. As soon as it begins to flip, that's generally where I would take some profit off the table. And if you did take it, you're probably about 4 pips up. Victoria, please give me opinion of there's some holding buys and big losses, please. You should have a plan. You should have a plan, man. How you're going about managing your trade and what your stop loss was. I wouldn't just hold on in hope of it flipping. It's just reckless, man. You just dig yourself a hole, get emotional about it. You need to have a solid plan going into the trade. How are you going to manage it if it starts to go against you? How are you going to manage it if it goes into decent profit as well? But for me, I would, yeah, I just cut my losses. So if you're in gold, you'd probably be almost at break even. Maybe not quite. You have about 6 pips on the table. Yeah, you now be at break even. There we go. There's your 10. Job done again. Killing it. Look at that. Took a win from a sell, took a win from a buy about 10 minutes later. There you go, guys. Let me take a screenshot of that too. And look at that now. Alright. I'm going to cut and I'm going to close another custom. And what a day. What a day, guys. Look at that. Easy. Gotta love it. Copy shit from some genius on TikTok after taking profit initially on a sell and then taking more profit on a buy just by following my plan. Not I.C.T, not SMC, not whatever you guys want to call anything. I follow A.C.T and that's it. That's me. It's what I do. Couldn't give a shit about the rest. Could be good entries, strategies, fantastic. I'm not interested because I follow what I do. Smash the like button, guys. Look at that. Shrif? No, I don't think it's on IC markets, to be honest. Is what I wonder. I don't think it's on IC markets. I've never looked at it, to be honest, if it is. Come on, guys. Who else took it? Anyone? It literally tagged in, and there you go. Bang. Thank you for the sticker, by the way. Lika Forex. I shit at pronouncing names. I apologize. Zach, all good, mate. All good. Don't stress it. Again, there'd be other entries moving forward. Maybe not right now, but we get a bit tricky now. We're coming close to London Open. What a cracking entry that was. So 2-0 in the first 50 minutes or so of the stream. Jai, again, there's no need to share all that information. You know, trade live. personal things like that. It's not, I don't gloat, there's no point. I know people like to jump on, yeah, just, you know, profited $1,000 or 10,000, whatever. It's not relevant, to be honest. We focus on doing things the right way, and the rest will all follow. But it's all good. I don't mean anything bad by it, to be honest. I'm assuming it's just an innocent question. Ethan, would you would I still buy? No, I'm already gonna buy. I will not re-enter now. You're not in. You're a bit late. The next thing that looks decent is GJ, bullish engulfing M15. OCM 30 bullish. Not a great deal of margin though. That's the one issue with GJ. Now that is what I call the interruption candle. It's not I.C.T. Again, it's not SMCs, none of that. It's what we call the interruption entry. And absolutely spot on. Could not have been a better entry. Harry, we're selling on GJ. Nah, right now I prefer the buys, but it's pushing too far now. It's not going to be valid anymore. But all good. Final target on gold, I've literally got it at that resistance. So I've got it at 36.9 is my actual target. Total gold going to 31, 33. I agree. Don't know exactly when, but I'm in agreement. So I think it's going to eventually go a lot higher than that, to be honest. Bruno. Oh, all good, man, all good. Totus, you don't need A.C.T, SMC, BPC, you just need to look at... That's what, exactly, I agree. Personally, that's what works for me. And that's what works for our mate Totus, so... And if I.C.T on that works for you guys, I totally understand. That's fine, not a problem. But again, coming to my stream, I do what I do. Not going to be influenced by some fair value gap or anything like that. Just wait for my signals. Very simple process. If anyone took a continuation buy now, I mean, that's also worked an absolute treat. And here we go, smashing TP within 15 minutes. Within about 10 minutes, actually. Yeah, just be very careful, Lucha Forex. Lika, whatever your name is. Just be very careful what you're saying, because don't go promoting another group in here. I appreciate stickers. I have no idea what they do. But just be very careful, because I'm very quick to ban people if they start promoting their own group or service in here. Toast looking at weekly chart. The weekly is, yeah, I mean, again, it's very bullish. And the fact this candle itself would suggest it's grabbed a fair bit of liquidity from the downside and it's now flipped and it's up at its high, would suggest to me there's a good chance it could continue to the upside. But we're still having some trouble flipping a 30-minute structure here, so if it does begin to flip that structure, closure above the resistance, then could be back at all-time highs by the end of the week, potentially. Harry, GU? Most definitely, I can have a look at that for you. The weekly is bearish, lower high, lower low. Also, looking at the weekly, long liquidity wicks to the upside. 3 times now. So based off that, that would suggest to me is a high probability that if we were to begin to break our own low yet again, we would make another push to the downside. But one thing we're seeing, and why it's struggling at the moment, it is at some daily support, a key level on daily 128.80, that sort of level. It is technically bearish in structure on a daily after rejecting the weekly, or the resistance, sorry, here to the left hand side on the daily time frame. So we've got the weekly as bearish, we've got the daily structure as bearish, we've got the 4-hour structure as also still technically bearish. So based off those 3 time frames, my bias is to the downside irrespective of the 30-minute time frame. But we're still looking at 30-minute to see what's going on, because doesn't mean I will not be considering any buy options, considering we are at a 4-hour support and a high time frame daily support as well. It would make sense to look for your options to buy it as well. And 30-minute structure is just by the looks of it bullish. We have got a lower low here. We've got the closure just below this swing. Well, that's the origin. That's the low. Yeah, it's definitely bullish. Definitely bullish. So based off that, we're just in the middle of this range. So my preference would be at the moment, we could name this range up and actually look for sells, to be honest, if you surely so. Adjust it to, again, to the most recent price action, just drag that across to the lowest point of the support itself, to that level there. And what I would say, and what I would suggest is, if we do close bullish just here on the M30 at session open, for a sell to be valid moving forward, definitely need to wait for a nice strong candle to close back below, preferably engulfing, and that would provide a catalyst to sell it. Now for the bias, let's quickly look at it. Have we got anything at the moment to look for a buy? Let's mark in the actual support itself. So this is the minor support and we're popping back above it. What have we got on the M15? We got a catalyst. I was going to say is if it's a bullish engulfing M15 to a bearish candle, that closing the M30 back above, that could be a signal to buy it. However, it's not. I'd personally wait. I'd wait for a little weak pause on the 15 and then look for a potential buy as it begins to break. Otherwise, if it just pops up now, wait, see how it reacts to the resistance at the daily high and a little bit higher up at 4-hour level, where you could potentially look for an option to sell it as well. So for the buyers, I prefer to see something like this on the 15. And for the sellers of the 30 closed below. And that could be the option to sell it. B2 was in it, trailing stop, nice trade, nice one. Carl, nice one, brother, good work. Alright, so we've got session open. And once again, well done if anyone took goal. Harry, all good? Ike's goal to your max. $900 TYS, BGC 1200. Not even too sure what that's in reference to be honest, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, so that is gold. DJ made the move. Needs to just let it set up yet again. Once again, thank you to all the new followers. Well done if anyone is in a gold trade. It's a nice 0 drawdown W on gold. Prior to it, took a brief sell for quick 10 pips to the downside. So 2-0 so far for today. It's a pretty good day. Hello, how are you? I'm all good, my friend. Unfortunately, I cannot read Arabic, so I can't read your name, but welcome. didn't miss the entry, but it's all good. No rush. That's it, mate. That's how we got to go about it. We just quit my job last month. Made monthly wage this morning. Train. That's unreal, mate. Good to hear it. And that's the reality. That's the beauty of trading. I mean, you got to have the funds though to be able to see those sort of returns. But again, you could easily lose a similar amount just as quick. So again, you got to be really disciplined with it. A lot of time people treat it like a casino when it really should not be treated that way at all. You again? Is there no possible entry on gold? I mean, not for me. I've been in gold, so for me there is no real re-entry just now. Lucas, the rock bottom many times, been a long process. It sounds similar to me, to be honest. A few times I was so close to quitting. Very, very close to quitting. And that was when it was emotion based more so than anything. But again, I realized at the time I actually understood the shit, and I had a good win rate. I just kept doing some stupid shit, which was detrimental to my results. And if I just stuck to some steady, solid, proven rules that work for me, and I can actually do it, and that's what I've done. And past 4 years or so, just been phenomenal, really good. Every year gets better and better. Just the entries as well. Add entries and things like that, but not just on a whim. I do make sure I test them out properly. I've cut the whole thing, by the way. Yeah, I'm happy with the profit. Nice trade. Really nice trade. Eugen, looking at entries, what can my next best move? Look, for me, probably a pullback to create support lower down. Otherwise, highs above the high. Much cleaner above that point. But the preference would be for it to trigger in some sellers, even just a bearish 15-minute candle, and then for them to be wiped out, closure above, retest, continuation. That could be an option to buy it. What have I missed? Sharon, that's me in his chat. I have no plan B. Yeah. I mean, sometimes that's a good thing as far as you're committed to making things happen. As long as you don't go about the wrong way and, you know, get caught up in the emotional side of it and letting it rule your trading, because that would be very detrimental. Yeah. What else? What do you think possible sell on GJ? 194.57. I mean, if it rejects just here and you get the right confirmation, that would not be a bad option. It's just ping-ponging about the moment. It is not looking as good as what it did prior to the stream, to be honest. Preference for me would be closure above this point, 194.50, and then look for rejection in 194.80 and potential sell for that point. Guillotine, thank you for the sticker, appreciate it. Didn't you think sell 38? No, not for me. I've already secured profits on the buy. So I've already had 2 wins. One on a sell, because it's just a really small win. and another on a buy. So yeah, definitely a level I would consider selling it from. Reason being is the 30-minute structure will remain bearish technically as long as it remains below that resistance. So if you're looking for a level to get involved, definitely is a good level to sell it from. But there is no confirmation from me to sell it just yet. I'd want to see at least a 15-minute closing bearish, but more than just one. Can't be just a weak bearish candle, has to be more to it. And the preference will be for a 30-minute close bearish. Thank you for sharing the live. Thank you to all the new followers as well. Harry, what do I think about possibly sell at 194.57? You're referring to this previous support, I'm assuming. I mean, it could reject that point there. I'm more focused on the most recent resistance, which it is currently rejecting. $9.11. Stop loss if I'm targeting 30.45. What should your stop loss be? Just depends what your entry is, to be honest. Yeah, so that's smashed through the full TP. If anyone is still holding it, my TP was at 90. 36.90 is where I actually had it set. 72, I need a nice buy soon. Well, for me, the options would be continuation buys above or upon the pullback. To Lib says buy all. 911, if I'm entry now, the stop loss should be where for 30.45. It just depends. For me, I'm a scalper, so technical levels I use are the previous 15 or 30-minute candles. If those candles, the stop loss in that way too wide, then I'll use the entry candle itself, so long as it's made a decent low wick. So if you want to be strict with management, you could have your stop loss below the London open candle, to be honest. But just bear in mind, you're at some 4-hour resistance. You're at a level where 30-minute keeps rejecting. Yeah, so just be careful with it. The lid going up, looks like it is. So no chance targeting 30.45 down with fair stop loss. I mean, you can target 30.45, but I'd just be wary of the current level. So if it were me, it could easily reject. So I would probably just have my stop loss at below the entry candle and just accept that if it does reject, at least you've mitigated risk at that point once it's come back down and break its own low. Because then it could end up back at the support lower down. So you don't want to hold on without a stop loss. For me, I don't care what people think. I think it's just reckless. So that's where I would have my stop loss if I wanted to be strict with the management. Seeing it's tapped into a resistance level where it could definitely reject. May not, it could push through it as well. Cowboy space, Pepe. Nice one. Well, nice one if it is that easy, but not gonna look at it. No trade crypto. Yeah, 911, yes. You guys can find that out quite easily. And I am streaming live on YouTube at the moment. you get the full screen on YouTube as well. Harry just need to make 1% for this fun. Annoyed I missed trades, but gotta be, that's it. Just don't stress it, don't do anything stupid, and let it come to you. Let it reset, and once you get your confirmation, that's when you are to take your next entry. Edward, where could it go? Gold. Well, we've got clean traffic up towards that 30-46 region, so that's definitely a realistic target. Jake, more to you. What's the max pip, an average pip, and lowest pip? What's the max pip? Ooh, what are we talking about? What's... Sorry, I'm a bit confused. Sadiq, you just take selling gold. That's all good, mate. It's at a resistance, so it's at also retesting 30-minute structure. It's some out for stop loss, Shake. Look, it just depends. On gold, if I've got really clean traffic, and I know gold has a lot more volume than most of the currency, well, than pretty much all the currency pairs. So I know I'm going to have to go in with the wider stop loss. It's just fact, because these candles, if I'm to use a technical level, such as the previous 30 or 15 low, I'm going to buy, there's going to be more volume in these candles, so I'm likely going to have a wider stop loss. But I want to make sure I've got enough margin to get a decent return. Even if I start to secure, you know, depending if it's within a range, I'll start to secure usually around that 10 plus. If it's out of the range, I mean, before that second trade, that I'm not sure even what it was. I think it was around 18 or so pips for TP1. Went to break even, didn't secure anything, and it popped straight up, and well, that was a good time to start to secure. But it just depends where we're at. If it pushes more than about 40 based off the 15, if I can't get a better stop loss based off the entry candle, then I just won't bother, to be honest. Most of the time, unless it's into clean traffic. But if it's in a range, then I'll likely just avoid it, because I don't want to roll with such a wide stop loss looking for a little quick scalp. Because gold being gold, and I trade fixed lots, gold can easily whip back very quickly against you. And the last thing I want to be doing is going in with like a 5% risk or whatever, and it just shits the bed in the opposite direction. So I want to have a realistic and a reasonable stop loss to prevent that from, you know, from happening. So even if I, you know, was to risk a little bit more, and I always manage my trades as well, I've got an option to manage it so I can get out at, you know, maybe half the risk. Great, sell any scalp profit, all good. Yeah, just be careful because it's pushing straight through it. 911, do you believe follow YouTube channel can be able to? I think guys watch me on regular, yeah, the YouTube channel, you definitely learn a lot, especially about discipline. I'm happy to sit through days on end without taking a trade if nothing proves to me why I should be involved. My guys know it, and there's going to be days like today where I've had 4 confirmations, and 3 of those were wins. One of them was a break even. Sadiq, which strategy? It's my strategy, A.C.T, analyze confirm trade. It's what I've learned, concoction of what I learned from the last 8 years of trading. It's got nothing to do with FVG, fair value gaps, or SMC. It's got nothing to do with that at all. It's just pure, plain and simple price action at predetermined levels on the chart. I'd like to get involved. So levels, support, resistance. I'm waiting for signals within price action, or either trades outside of the range or within the range. And that's pretty much it, to be honest. I've determined a preferable direction based off a few different time frames and the strength of the high time frame candles. And it's just a matter of waiting for a price action signal. Thank you for the sticker, Hernan. Appreciate it. Thank you guys. Discipline over greed, 72, exactly. 911, no. I trade GJ as well, but prefer gold. KJ, someone with fake account, just DM pretending. Don't, guys, I will never initiate direct contact with any of you. Never. So if anyone does message you claiming to be me, it's not me. Don't be daft. Don't be stupid, guys. You're more than welcome to contact me, but yeah, I will not directly contact any of you. Sharon, look, it's at a good level to sell, but I'd be waiting for a confirmation, and right at the moment I don't really have it. Hayden, you think it's going to reverse because we are seeing rejection? Again, it could, but I don't trade what I think. I trade what I see, react to what I see, and this rate is still forming a strong bullish M30, so nothing just yet. Yeah, 911. You guys can find it. It's the same as my TikTok name. Alrighty, guys, I'm gonna get moving because I reckon this is going to get me close to a strike shortly, so I've got to be careful. TikTok, appreciate you joining. Well done for those that took the trades today. I should be on tomorrow. I'm pretty sure we'll be on tomorrow. So make sure to follow if you're not done so, and turn on those notifications. No Telegram. No, I don't have a group in Telegram. Again, you guys can work it out. Plenty of content on my profile page. Harry, yeah, I'm on YouTube at the moment, but I'm gonna end that as well. Guys, take care, have a good one. Appreciate it for joining. I shall be on again tomorrow, more than likely. Well done today, YouTube. Appreciate you guys as well. To my guys, I will do a bit of an update later on. Please trade safe and don't do anything stupid. And I'll catch you all likely tomorrow. Until then, guys, take care, trade safe. Cheers, have a good one. Bye, team.